Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the most delicious cauliflower do piazza, which stands for double onion. Now in this cauliflower do piazza we also have a little twist. We're going to use the cauliflower as well as its leaves and make it as low waste as possible. If this sounds good to you, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment so you don't miss a post from me and you can help my work and support it. Let's get cooking. I have a medium cauliflower here, and I think the thing about cauliflower is a lot of people don't realize that its leaves, its stalk, it's all entirely edible. You just need to cut off the back end like this, as it can be a little bit hard and chewy. All we do then is break those florets up. I like keeping this quite chunky, so it has a bit of a bite to it. You can obviously cut it up and make it smaller if you prefer. Now, the stalk is entirely edible, so we're just going to chop that up and use it as a veg. And then, of course, we have the leaves. Now, the leaves can be a little bit stringy, so we're just going to cut it up like you would, say, any salad leaf or greens. And then we will use all of that chopped up in the do piazza. If you don't want to add them here, you can always turn them into another vegetable saute later. Now, I also have some green beans. I'm adding green beans to just bulk out the cauliflower a little bit. You can, again, leave this out if you prefer, but it was quite nice having the beans in this actually. Again, you want to cut them a little bit chunky. So we're talking about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, and then the onions. Now, if you don't like onions, please look away. This dish is all about the double onion. I have 2 medium onions here, which I've peeled, and then we're going to chop them up. I remember when I was a child once, I asked the waiter in a restaurant for a thin Piaz or a 3-onion, triple onion dish because I love onions so much. How do you stop yourself from crying when you chop onions? By the way, I have a tip. I have a pair of glamour glasses, sunglasses that I wear. Not sure if you have a special tip. Drop me a little comment to let me know. Now, you'll see I've chopped 1 onion in this in quarters almost, in like little chunks, and the other one will be really fine. I have 3 onions here. One of them is chopped quite finely, but you know what? It doesn't have to be super minced because it's going to disintegrate in the dish anyway. You just want to cut them up into smaller pieces than the other one. What do you guys do to stop yourself from crying when you're chopping onions? I have a pair of glamour sunglasses, which are battered old pair of shades that I keep handy and I wear. But let me know in the comments if you have any other tips. Potato. We need a potato. This is a medium one. I'm going to peel it and then cut it into little cubes. And this is going to go in the dish. It's a lovely and squidgy alongside the bite of the cauliflower and the beans. We need a little thumb of ginger too, thumb or like 1 inch. I like using a spoon to peel it, and then I've gone in with 2 fat cloves of garlic. So peeled and then again chopped up. Now we line the base of a saute pan with oil when it's hot. This is about medium-high heat. In go those onions, and you can see how they're sizzling nicely. I think I might have messed up with these videos and not left any sound on for you. So that's a note to myself to sort for the next round of filming that I do. You can add a little pinch of salt here if you like to help the onions cook. The salt draws the moisture out of the onions and helps the oil work its magic quicker. You may have noticed that tip in a previous video from me. Now, in go that ginger and garlic. You'll see the onions are lovely and golden. That color works really nicely with the rest of the vegetables. You're going to stir that beautifully, catching all the little bits of onion, ginger, garlic that get stuck on the sides of the pan. As with a lot of my recipes, this is quite a simply spiced dish, and the spices that I use work incredible magic. Now that the onions, ginger, garlic have some color, we're going in with about 3 teaspoons of ground coriander. I like to grind my coriander seeds myself. Feels a lot nicer and fresher than store-bought. And then about a teaspoon and a half of cumin, which I keep in a massive jar. Let me know if you want me to show you my giant tub of cumin. I just love it so much. Then about a teaspoon of turmeric, and then we're going to go in with Kashmiri chili powder. I seem to be using Kashmiri chili powder a lot at the moment, but you know, it just gives the vegetables such a lovely color, like the glow of red tinge. And I've used about 2 teaspoons, but really this is up to you. Mix that all together nicely to incorporate and make sure the spices don't burn. So you want to be moving them around quickly in the hot oil, and with those onions and that ginger and garlic. Time now for those potatoes. Sautéing the potatoes in that hot oil and the spices will help seal them. You don't have to do this separately. If you just do it while there aren't very many ingredients in the pan and the oil is hot, and give them a quick toss around, it will seal them and make sure that they don't disintegrate in your dish later. Also, the spices get to adhere to them. I'm now going in with my giant chunks of onion. Well, giant in relative terms, but that's quite a lot of onion, isn't it? I guess the clue is in the name. So again, the onions get tossed around, and we're just trying to soften them a little and get them to grab those spices off the pan. What I didn't show you is that I also chopped a large tomato. So that's going to go in next, and that's going to add the little liquid that we need for this dish. Toss those tomatoes in nicely with the spices as well, and mix everything together beautifully. I filmed this when lovely tomatoes were in season, but if they're not, you can fish out 2 plum tomatoes out of a tin and use it without the juice as well. Your result will be absolutely the same, nothing to worry about. By now, you should be able to comfortably insert a fork into a potato with a little bit of difficulty, but you should be able to insert a fork. So the potatoes need to be partially cooked when you add your cauliflower. The cauliflower now gets mixed into the masala, and you want to get all of it into the little cracks and crevices of the cauliflower, mixing it well through. It would be a good time to add some salt as well. You don't want me to show you how to add salt, I'm sure. What you're looking out for here is no white bits left on the cauliflower when you add a dash of hot water. I keep this in a flask from my teas in the morning, and that will just help the cauliflower cook, almost stew before the rest of the ingredients go in. Beans next, which won't take as long to cook. At this point, the spices will have lost their pungency and raw way, and everything's going to be smelling utterly delicious. Now, I tasted this for salt, so you don't have to, and it did need a bit more. So here goes some salt. Mix that all well, beautifully, and incorporate the spices into everything, all those vegetables, gorgeous, the cauliflower. Remember, there's water in there now, so you need to move the ingredients around. I'm going to stick the lid on and let this steam cook in its own juices. This takes a good 10 to 12 minutes. Keep checking. Every cauliflower is different quality. Potatoes can be old, new, fresh, not so fresh. So you want to take the lid off and just check by putting in a fork into the cauliflower. When it's all nearly done, by that I mean a fork can be inserted into the cauliflower and potato very easily. Add in the cauliflower leaves and let them wilt and soften in that lovely vegetable saute. Stick the lid back on, and in a while you should have all the ingredients beautifully incorporated. There may be a little bit of moisture left in the pan, but if you cook this on a medium-high heat with the lid off, that will dry out, and a fork should be able to beautifully go into a piece of cauliflower, and everything's going to taste just gorgeous right now. And I can tell you that I tasted it straight out of the pan. This is a great make-ahead dish, by the way, as well, because as you can imagine, all those spices work brilliantly into the vegetables for the next day. It's also vegan. I don't know if you noticed that while I was cooking. And look at the finished dish. How gorgeous does that look, that rich color? So I poured it into a bowl ready to taste. And then, of course, it had to go on my thali, which is the little series I'm doing for you to showcase Indian home cooking. Look how gorgeous that is. And I can tell you, it tastes as good as it looks. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, so you can help support my work, and see you here again the next time. Bye.